Hey there, just a little short video today. Nothing really specific about going through the process for a service academy, just a reflection upon the day. Today is September 11th, 2025. It's 24 years to the date of the attack on the World Trade Center in New York City. I actually witnessed the attack. I was across the river in New Jersey at an event. And we were standing out on a patio area, and I didn't actually see the first airplane crash into the towers, but I saw the result of it, and then I saw briefly after that the second airplane crash into it. So unfortunately I had a first-hand look at it and the aftermath. It hit pretty close to home here. My wife used to work in that building, and it was someplace special in that it was a pretty nice area. It was a pretty nice place to go to. And of course, all the people that passed away and all the firemen that passed away on that day. Just a terrible day. I had planned on making a video today about the calmness of 2025. 2025 up to the last few days reminded me of 2001. Things are relatively calm. There's stuff always going on all over the world. There's always conflicts. There's always things in the Middle East. There's always terrible things in Africa. But life is relatively calm. And I remember it being like that in 2001. And now that I'm, very involved, with, kids that are working to get into the military academies, my kids who are serving, and, my past experience, the calmness of the world doesn't stay in a steady state, as we see in the last 2 days. We saw that terrible attack on that poor woman, actually a young girl on the train in Charlotte, and then we saw the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So nothing stays in a steady state. I know those are domestic things, but international things can happen just as quick. So, the class of 2002 at the service academies, thought they were going to graduate into a calm world, and they didn't. And it reminded me of a book that I read, and the book was In a Time of War. It's about the class of 2002 and how they were thrust into, the global conflict upon their graduation. I don't have a copy of the book. I did read the book. What I do have is just a picture of it from Amazon, and I'll post a picture of it. But I think it's a good thing for you to read if you're really serious about going to a service academy. People always have this great impression of a service academy, the fancy uniforms, the great education, all the stuff that goes with it. But the service academy is there to train you for service to your country. And that isn't always glamorous. People in the Army and the Marines, the Air Force, the Navy, they get sent into some pretty dangerous areas and some pretty crappy places in the world to serve our country. It's something that you have to be aware of. So I really think in the last few days, we saw this upheaval in our country. These sad things happen. But if you're going to a service academy, you have to realize that, 4 years there and a minimum of 5 years after, what are you going to be getting into? And do you really want to go and sign up for that? Now, I really hope that you do. I did, my wife did, all my kids did. I really hope that you do serve our country. But I don't want you to go in there thinking that it's all, shiny brass and fancy uniforms and, strutting around in your blues or your whites. It's not like that. So I'm just going to close this here. I hate this day. I hate 9/11. It's just a very painful day. It's a painful day for a lot of people here in the New York area. But I think it's a day that we have to remember that the world changed, and that graduates of the service academies the class of 2002 and forward, played a big difference in the war on terrorism and keeping this country safe. So I'm just going to end it here. I hope I wasn't too depressing, and I hope that you take the message away from this that, going to a service academy isn't all the pomp and circumstance, the fancy uniforms, the parades, the great education, and all of that. There is a commitment to be paid, and there are sacrifices that might be required of you. So that's it. Good luck. I hope you get what you want, and I hope you reflect on 9/11 and the other tragic events that happened this week. It's just a very sad day and a very sad couple of days. So thank you.